And once again, I'm Lee Kreider with the Ohio Ram Show, and we're bringing you another special report. When it comes to knowing the history of the race across America, particularly the statistics of the race across America, there's only one person to go to, and that's Danny Chu. So good morning, Danny Chu.
Good morning, Lee. Nice to have you today.
Well, nice to see you again there. And Danny, the race across America is only a few days away now, right?
Yes, it's going to start on Tuesday.
Starting Tuesday, and we're recording this on Saturday. Let's talk about the solo women. I think we've got, is this the largest group we've had, or?
Yes, Shauna Hogan reported that it's the largest starting field for the women ever. Originally, there were 9, but one rider dropped out. Do you know who that was?
No.
But anyhow, there's 8, and Shauna says that's the biggest starting field for the women.
It's the biggest starting, and I think it's a good sign, Danny.
Also, Shauna is the most decorated woman doing the race, having won the women's race 6 times, and this is her 13th start. She has more starts in solo ram than anybody except for Rob Kish with 20. So Shauna is the most decorated rider in the women's field, if not the overall race, the fact that this is her 13th start. And I see probably my number one pick in the women's race is the Swiss rider, Isabelle Pulver from Switzerland, because she won the 2015 Ram as a rookie. And she'll be back most likely to do a faster time this year. And I don't really know any of the other women in the under 50 category, but I can tell you in the 50 plus category, I see Leah Goldstein being a contender for the overall because she won as a rookie back in 2011, despite having horrible shoulder neck. So I say that Leah Goldstein could win the overall, even though she's in the 50 plus category.
Yeah, and we do have quite a few rookies in there in that category, do we not?
Yeah, we do. Now,
as with any race, someone can come out of the blue and win it that we haven't really had a look at.
And I do think it's a little bit easier to do that in the women's race because there's less depth in the men's race. You know, for a rookie to come out of nowhere and win the women's races would be a little bit less of a surprise to me than happening in the men's race, obviously.
Okay, let's turn to the men's solo race.
What I say is probably the only way you beat Strausser is if he drops out. And mind you, he has dropped out twice, so that's a possibility. Christoph told me that he pushes himself so hard that often, you know, it leads to his body breaking down so badly that he just can't finish the race. And if Strausser does finish, anybody who has a chance of beating him has to equal his amazing 6 total hours of sleep for the entire race. That's just insane. It's crazy. I slept 21 hours when I did Ram, and Strausser does the entire race on 6 hours of sleep. If anybody else tries to match that, I think they're just going to collapse and run into huge amounts of trouble. All right.
Okay, second and third and fourth. Who do you see in that group?
Well, there is one guy in the under 50 category that Jim Rees warned me about. Jim Rees is a solo finisher from the UK, and he is the crew chief for a guy from New Zealand called Craig Harper. Jim Rees told me that he thinks Craig Harper could even challenge Strausser for the overall win, despite the fact that Craig Harper is a rookie. So I would say keep your eyes on New Zealand Craig Harper in the under 50 solo Ram. The other race, which is very interesting, is the 50 plus this year.
Yes.
If Strausser drops out, one of the 50 plus guys could win the overall and become the oldest solo Ram winner ever. Up until now, we have 2 oldest solo Ram winners. We have Pete Penseries winning at 53 years old, way back in 1986 when he set the old speed record of 15.4 miles an hour. But then in 2006, there were 2 solo divisions. There was the traditional, and there was the Enduro division. Now, Enduro offered a bigger prize list to draw fast people like Jure Robic and Marco Bello, but the Enduros had to sleep at least 40 hours at time stations along the route. And Jacques Boyer, who won the Solo Ram in 1985, he did win the Enduro that year at age 50. So technically, he's the oldest solo winner of Enduro at age 50. But if one of these 350-plus riders this year could win, they could become the new oldest solo Ram winner. And they are Mark Pattinson with 4 second-place finishes and never a win. Mark Pattinson also very impressively set the 2-person team record last year at just under 20 miles an hour. Also, Marco Bello, who was second in that Enduro race way back in 2006, is a very good rider in the 50-plus. He's also done 2-person and raw. And then you have David Haas, who has been second twice, but never won the race. So it's going to be a very competitive 50-plus race. David Haas even told me that he's fit enough that he thinks he has a shot at the overall win against Strausser.
Okay, well, listen, Danny, thank you for your insights. It's always good to talk to you. Now, listen, can you be back, sometime in the middle of the race with your wonderful statistics and kind of give us
I hope to do 2 or 3 of these with you during the race.
Okay.
And, the best time for me would be, say, like at around 11 a.m. on a morning, all right?
We can work that out, and we would like to have you back here with your little spreadsheets all worked out. It's wonderful, and good luck to you. I hope some of those problems you got clears up soon so you can get back on your hand cycle. And thanks again, Danny, for being with us.
Thanks, Lee, and thanks to you for running the Ohio Ram website. You do a lot for Ram.